Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 148 of Pokerole. We are getting along. We did some little side questy stuff, and we're hanging out with Savantan, and we're probably going to leave soon, I feel like, into the new adventures. But we'll see what happens. Maybe today things will pick up. Not that things weren't picking up previous sessions, but we were having some townie episodes, and I think it's about to conclude, and we're going to do more things. But what are we doing? I guess we'll find out. But before we fully start, of course, if you like today's video, do think about giving it a like, maybe subscribing if you feel up to it, and if you want to come over to Twitch and hang out with us, think about doing that as well, because that's always fun. And if you want to join our Discord, and the Pokerole Discord, it can be joined off of the main Discord, so think about coming over there if you feel like it, either one or the other, or both even. There's also a Ko-fi link if you want to help us directly monetize the content we make. There is a merch store if you want to buy some cool little merch things. And, of course, there is the PokePioneersMirahis.org if you want to go check out our wiki for our game here, official wiki. Episode recaps, characters, bios, etc. And please check it out if you feel like it. Links are all in the description. But how's everybody on the table doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Feeling swell?
Doing alright.
I'm feeling well enough overall. Little on the low energy side, but not like sleepy or fatigued. Just sort of vibing today, I think. So
Mellow.
Mellow's a good word for it. Don't expect me to take a ton of initiative today because of that, but I'll do my best.
Well, hopefully we don't have combat.
Well, I can do that initiative.
Also, I accidentally found another neat detail on the table. The Mighty Anna model, it does a little like lip quiver and nose wiggle.
I actually noticed that. I never commented on it, but I did notice that. If you zoom in, look at that. Scooter
It's a little
sniffy.
detail.
Maybe eventually. Oh yes. I guess I'll let the recap go, but before I do that, I have images. I'll get that ready while the recap goes.
Alrighty. Welcome to the table, everyone, and last time was session 147, Making Eyes Turn. As each day passes, Ryda checks on Brooke's location via scrying to confirm their safety, and they let Ralph and Tucker know about it whenever they ask. As they are recovering from their injuries, Ryda begins training their endurance, provided Lyre or anyone else at the base at the time don't spot them and force them to get back to resting. When they have enough training for now, they decide to spend time practicing their alchemy skills by gathering some plants and using them to create some restorative tonics. One day, while collecting plants, they notice that the lumberry tree planted in the garden has now begun to bear fruit, and picks the berries to put them into storage, for now. Whenever Ralph isn't messing around with the post office, he catches Georgie up on the many adventures he's been on since he woke up as a Pokemon. As he spends time with Georgie and Mawile, Georgie eventually shares that he still has data from the lab which could help develop some new weaponry, which Ralph and Mawile are immediately interested to get work on building. After a few days, the three complete a crossbow, which Ralph can equip with his zapper if he wants to increase the range of the electric device. Meanwhile, Tucker spends more time with Puppy, deciding to help them with venting energy and practicing their elemental fangs with some combat training. He decides to ask Ryda and Ralph for their opinions on whether they'd be fine with Puppy joining them on missions until they can find a place that can safely watch them. And the two respond that it's ultimately Tucker's decision, seeing as he's their guardian. Ralph and Tucker begin trying to bounce back and forth ideas of what places may be good for Puppy, with the most specific answer they could think of possibly asking Mudbray if he would appreciate more assistance on the farm. However, they decide to keep the idea in the back of their minds for now, and keep an eye out for a potentially better place for Puppy to vent their energy during their travels. After a few days of training Puppy, Tucker ponders trying to visit the seamstress, seeing as his dress would be complete by now. Since Ralph was occupied with weapons development, and he still didn't want to push Ryda to go to the Mutaglade with him, Tucker decides to request a pioneering team to help escort him there. The team consists of a midday Lycanroc, an Arcanine, and a Pachirisu that take up the offer. And Noibat, after overhearing Tucker's plans, decides to join them on the journey. After 2 days of travel, Tucker arrives at the seamstress's abode. The Ariados is pleased to see him back and shows him the restored tapestry from the gallantry the team had brought her. She mentions that it is ready to be returned to the gallantry at this point, but also remarks that the knights have seemingly been away from their base for a while now. After handing the tapestry back to Tucker, she then shows Tucker the completed maid outfit, featuring some special alterations that enable it to fit Tucker regardless of his new form, as well as with new controllable ribbons that allow Tucker to easily hold objects. After explaining the new functions of the outfit, the two bid each other farewell, and Tucker asks the team to make a detour to the gallantry on the way back to deliver the tapestry. When he arrives, he notices that, as the seamstress said, no one seemed to be there, and hadn't been there for a while, considering a layer of dust over most things. He finds a note left by one of the knights, explaining that they were away on a mission to the east of the gallantry. Seeing no other reason to linger around after hanging up the tapestry, Tucker returns to Savantown with the team, the detour having turned the 2-day return trip into a 3-day one. When Tucker returns to Savantown, he finds Rida at Ralph and Mawil's home and shows them his new dress. When he does, Tucker and Rida are surprised as the Baltoy. I don't think they have the others. I think Mawile only had the one.
It was originally a trio, but we only have one, yeah.
When the one Baltoy speaks up at seeing Tucker, complaining over how he doesn't get to have hands while Tucker does. Ralph, Mawile, and Georgie immediately try to cover up Georgie's limb-lacking lamentations, but Rida ignores their excuses and approaches the Baltoy and threatens to attack it if Georgie doesn't reveal themselves. The threats successfully cause the Baltoy to panic, and after Ralph and Mawile explain what Georgie is doing there, try to convince the two that Georgie won't cause any more trouble for them. Tucker is reluctant, considering how recently the team had been fighting it in the lab, and Rida is wholly unconvinced to give them a chance. Tucker is eventually willing to give them a chance, seeing that they seem genuinely apologetic for their actions. And Rida eventually leaves after warning Georgie that they will resort to violence if Georgie decides to act out. Meanwhile, once Brooke has finished eating, he and Deadeye begin traveling back through the prairie to Savantown, taking the occasional break to rest and give Brooke opportunities to test his newfound strength. Eventually, they arrive back in Savantown, and Brooke tracks down the others to show them his new appearance. When they track down Ralph and Tucker, they are each similarly impressed by Brooke's new form. They all go to the training area together to find Rida, and, after they realize the Feraligatr in front of them is Brooke, they express hesitancy at accepting Brooke's new form. Brooke understands their discomfort and tells them that he hopes that Rida will be able to talk to him about it later, to help them become more comfortable with it. After Rida agrees to talk later, he leaves with Deadeye to show his new appearance to the other members of the team, starting with a very excited Squirtle.
Is that the recap?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I want to ask first off, hey Tubby, welcome to the table. Are you having a seizure? Your hand is all weird. I was just wondering.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, your hand was it was shivering. I guess is the best way I can put it.
Oh, I was tapped out. But
It must
like,
have just
I'm
been
here,
glitching
I'm
with
listening.
tabbies. Okay, just making sure everything's good.
I'll just put my mic back in my lap because that's where it picks up the best.
Okay. It turns out when you're tapped out, the mouse freaks out a fair bit. But yeah, I hope everybody is doing well today, not only on the table, but also in the audience. Like I said, I'm kind of chill today, but that's not a bad thing. And a lot of cool artwork. Idio, thank you for drawing things, and stop cringing at your artwork. Your artwork is fine. You don't have to cringe at it.
Every artist cringes at their own work.
Aw. I don't think Views did. That's one of Charm's older personalities. I write you Umbria Mix, they love doing art. I don't think they cringe to their art.
Okay.
Also, Ennio, group drawings are hard, especially when you have to keep in mind the size differences. And it's like, no, you have to draw the smallest one first. Otherwise, if you do the bigger ones and then the smaller one, you could end up getting wrong perspectives and like positioning, and it's so hard.
And it's probably hard just having characters interact with each other too.
Yes.
This is actually the only, that's, Doreen. That's fan art of Doreen. I love it.
Oh yeah, that is like Dorian's one fan art piece, unless I... Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and there's a revision, so technically it's 2 pieces of fan art, because there's an older version too. I'm just showing this one because Ennio said this one was like the replacement or something. And Chaos is still working on my model, and there's some new development stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Shall we get into things?
I suppose so.
Things.
Let's see, I don't think I forgot anything. Oh yeah, the table got cleaned up a little bit. So if you notice anything changed, that's why. I just tried to clean up a little bit. I tried to leave, like, if you had like 6,000 arrows next to your sheet, I left 1, but I didn't leave 6,000. So I did things like that. I just did a little cleanup. And if you need something duplicated, just let me know. I left your little flower because I felt bad about removing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, my cookie.
And your cookie's a unique object, so it gets to stay. And you want your cookie.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can click on it.
Cookie clicker.
I don't remember. God, I don't remember when the cookie came to be.
I want to say like 40 episodes ago. I don't know exactly. Also, I have one question. The knights left the gallantry and left a note, said they were heading...
They did not say where they were heading. They said that they would be away.
But the recap said east, right? I thought it said west.
East?
Yeah, I thought it said west, but I'm pretty sure you read out east when you were recapping.
Oh, hang on. Let me look at the recap again.
Okay.
Because if there was a direction, it should have said west.
Yeah, I thought like when we read the note last session, I thought it didn't say where, but I think it did say west. So I was just checking because I think we made like we made a conjecture it could be Astaroth related.
Let's see.
Just a minor detail, really not a huge deal, but I do think it was maybe the opposite direction.
Oh, it does say east. I wonder if I said east during the session when I meant west, because they are west.
Directions are hard, so yeah, they
you
are
wanted
west. Okay.
west.
West.
It went towards the east.
I've got a lot better with my west and east thanks to blueprints, which is nice.
West is the direction the Zigzagoons walk.
I always do it by never eat soggy waffles.
Yeah, me too.
That's generally good advice, unless it's just a song because of a lot of maple syrup. It might still be good then.
North is the direction that you're facing.
Oh yeah, Kyrio, how are you doing today? I feel like maybe you didn't answer when I asked how everybody on the table was. So how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing alright.
That's good.
I don't know how well I'd be able to do Brooke's voice, but I'll just talk normally.
Okay, I was contemplating, because I know you're trying to practice it, so... do you think we'll eventually get a Frowling Airbrooke voice from you? Like, once you practice it more?
I mean, I've tried, but right now it's just... I don't think I can keep it up.
No, that's fine. It's tricky to keep a voice going.
Yeah, that's one of the main things I was worried about, unironically, with evolving is, do I do a different voice? What voice do I use?
I mean, I'm still just kind of wigging in my Yenatone, so...
Yeah, no one's gonna harp on you if you're, like, switching between voices. As long as we know you're speaking in character, that's what matters.
Yeah. That's the main thing I'm just focused on. Like, I just need to make sure I sound different enough to know if it's an out character or in character.
Ryder voice slips a bunch, but you can tell it's Ryder because they're monotone.
That's really the most important thing. And if the voice acting is super solid, that's a bonus. It doesn't need to be, though.
Mhm.
But yes.
Of course, doll. I'm always a bonus.
Doreen, go back to the clubhouse. You're not part of Team Cheer.
Not yet.
Oh, gosh.
So, I think what our characters needed to do was basically everybody needed to fill in everybody else at different things.
Info dump montage.
Yeah. Brooks gonna like pop into the clubhouse real quick and let everyone know he's back. And then probably come back and call a meeting.
Good idea. Tucker wouldn't have anything to do for the rest of the day and would attend. No complaints.
We need a Tales of Bossing Say episode of all the side team members.
And that's what glimpses are for.
Really is.
Right, Jack.
But Brooke is heading into the Pioneering Clubhouse.
Yes.
Oh boy. Brooke and Deadeye. Gosh, I almost used the other name. Brooke and Deadeye head into the Pioneering Clubhouse, and it's like one of those record scratch moments in a Wild West tavern where everyone just stares. Because they know who Deadeye is. But now there's another very large, very powerful Pokemon with them. Because Brooke did not make intentions known to anyone and everyone at the Pioneering Club that they were going to evolve. Only a select few.
How would Brooke respond to that? Let's see. Oh, geez, I'm not prepared for this at all.
No, it's okay. Do you want us to move to other players?
Yeah, sure. Let someone else take over real quick.
Locale's 20, then. If we're going to...
Okay. Also, Strato, be nice. Cal's 20.
Yes.
There.
Alright then. Alright. Ryda, what are you doing?
So this is taking place after Brooke showed off, and then left, correct?
Yeah.
Well, Ryder would definitely be sort of still just standing there in shock for a good while. Not like awestruck or anything, just sort of lost in thought as they contemplate how the interaction went and kind of not happy with their own reaction. But eventually they probably just sort of shake it off and try and distract themselves. Let's see.
Squirt is at the front desk. They have the crayons out.
know what is he drawing something?
Of course. Brooke came back and they're big.
Rydo is going to glance at what he's drawing. I can kind of figure what.
It is a crude child's drawing of a flexing for alligator that is in progress.
Ryda looks at the image and just sort of sighs to themselves, and then they get an idea, and they will ask Squirt, do you happen to have extra drawing utensils?
They look. Wow. Everything stalled in my brain for a second. They look up and sign to Ryda that yes. And they will hop down from the desk seat and open up one of the many drawers that is behind the front desk and pull out more paper as well as more implements for drawing. They only have so many crayons, but there's pencils and charcoal, so they can share those. The crayons are Squirt's.
So other than the crayons, there's other stuff that has color, right? Or is it just the crayons?
It's just the crayons, because the front desk is supposed to only have, secretary supplies. The crayons may or may not be something that they took from the daycare and or Tucker's daycare zone.
I mean, that's fine. It's not being used right now.
Fair. Okay, in that case, they will accept some paper and a writing utensil. Looking over at the crayons, but not pressing to, take them or anything, but they will give an appreciative nod and sort of go off into a corner and start to sketch a bit.
I will remind you that there is an assortment of paints in Tucker's daycare room.
I don't think right enough.
Well, I don't think when Tucker added stuff to that room, it wasn't heavily announced, so you'd have to go looking in there if you were curious to find supplies. But
these are supplies that were taken from the tower.
That's right.
Yeah, but Ryda isn't gonna be nosy into Tucker's room. But yeah, they're going to take some time and just sketch a few pictures. If anyone looks over at them, they can see Ryda they'll sketch something, erase it, sketch something again, cross it out, sketch something again, looking very intently at this piece.
Liar is going to come over, unintentionally being very quiet, and they just sort of peer down at whatever Ryda happens to be doing.
And Liar can see what looks to be Ryda doing their best to sketch almost this weird figure that's kind of like Brooke, but also not like Brooke. And you can see that the proportions have been changed several times. You can see the outlines of where they drew something and erased it. There's definitely parts where it's the eyes have a black bar crossed over them. The head is looking more rounded and less sharp and angular. Also, the frills where that would be across Brooke's body. There's only really one on the center of his head. But yeah, they're trying their best, but you can definitely see that they are struggling.
Where is Ryda choosing to do the drawing?
Kind of just in the lobby off to a corner.
Okay. I think, I would say that I think Tucker would notice the Ryda's drawings, but not really directly engage Ryder, but probably would notice the drawings because Tucker and Puppy would be definitely at the base as well. Tucker did have a big little side of interest. Some resty and stuff. And also, I'm going to say that Tucker probably noticed, unless Ryder was trying to really hide it, Tucker probably noticed when Ryder was basically not positively shocked by Brooke's new form. Basically, Ryder wasn't trying to hide that bothered Ryder, right?
No, they weren't really paying anyone else much mind. They just sort of like, you know, that sort of someone's standing there and you can tell they're self-reflecting in their expressions, but they're not really paying attention to anything else going on around them.
Yeah, I definitely think, unless I need to roll for it, I definitely would say that Tucker probably noticed that, especially since they're kind of already kind of monitoring Ryder a little bit. So, so Ryder's reaction about Brooke's new evolution, as well as Ryder's drawings, would catch Tucker's notice, though Tucker wouldn't be engaging Ryder at this time about any of that. After all, Brooke did say if you need to talk. Tucker's probably around for that, so Tucker's kind of staying out of it, but kind of observing.
Yeah, you can see them sketching off into the corner, really focusing. You can occasionally see them like lift an eyebrow or shake their head as they're sketching this kinda Brooke, kinda not drawing.
Artwork is sometimes a form of therapy, so...
At some point, Ryder will have erased so many times on this page that the page will start to tear.
Yeah. And at that point, Ryder just sort of moves over to another piece of paper and just puts the previous one underneath. Basically, start all over again. But otherwise, they don't seem to be paying anyone else mind. Almost like they're in their own little world.
Blair's going to look up and over at Tucker and give them a mildly concerned look, and then they're going to walk off.
Tucker will return that look with a kind of a small nod of acknowledgement. A sort of, yeah, I feel you there. Sort of look back. Is Blair going outside?
Yes.
Okay.
They leave through the front door. I have to specify, or someone might think they defenestrate themselves. That said, Ralph, what do you happen to be doing at this moment?
Alrighty. I know that Brooke has the new form because I was there when he strolled back into town. I should think it's about time to reconvene with the team since our leader's back, so I think I'd be heading back there. Heading back to the, heading back to the HQ. Taking my new, crossbow, with me.
Ooh, something to show off. In addition to
indeed.
your new functional sword.
Yeah, which is radical.
That is a good question. When should we be talking to Blaze about those items again? Like, how long will that take? Did we find that out?
I do recall mentioning that Blaze would not have enough time in a week to get those items done.
So we'd probably have to leave and come back for progress on that.
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I just realized, I guess there's one more thing Tucker would be doing besides just resting. Randomly picking up objects with the new, dark tendrils, basically. Just kind of getting used to them. So just taking things up and putting them back down and such. Testing weights and such, too. Actually, yeah, that's a good question. What is the threshold? If since Tucker would be doing some tests, what's the heaviest thing that can be picked up?
So, unlike you, Tucker, that has a strength score of 5, your ribbons have an effective strength score of 2.
I'm gonna write that down.
Where is the stats? I'd have to pull out the book. But I do know that
I completely forgot how strength actually factors into what you can hold.
But yeah, the ribbons are not strong enough to, say, wield the Railgun Reaver.
What is let's see, does the book actually indicate a ballpark of what a strength score of like 5 or 2 whatever can do? I can pull that up if so.
Yes it does.
Okay, let me see. Been a while since we pulled that out. Here, this should do it. I think that one. I don't think I've ever really thought about strength score as far as like what I could pick up with it, but it's a good question, especially now that I technically have a split score. Let's see. And actually, this might be good for all of us to kind of refresh on. So let's see. We'll go to indexed. Okay, what page would this be on? Skills and specialties, social attributes. So I guess mental, physical attributes. 23.
Let's see here.
Here we go. Yeah, this is a ball. Here we go. Strength is right here. It's a ballpark, but basically, strength score 2 for the ribbons. Basically, your strength is average. You could use a little exercise though. And a strength score of 5 is you can move a big boulder out of the way without trouble. Wow, I can move big boulder without the ribbons.
Damn, I got 6, so I could probably fucking
6 says
side.
The strength of an Earth-ring bear, enough to tear apart a car.
Shit.
You can make a convertible out of a car that's not a convertible.
That is one of the most metal ways I've heard someone describe that level of strength.
Now, granted, this is just what the core book says, and we do make our own concessions, but it is interesting to look at. Feel free to study the others if you want to. I'll leave the book there for now.
I know there was something more specific, but I cannot find it.
Like on another page somewhere. Well, if anybody here knows the more specific part of the Pokerole book, feel free to let us know. If you can give us a page number, I'll check it.
In any case, yeah, it is an average strength thing.
Yeah, nothing impressive, but can pick up most everyday objects that are meant to be picked up.
It also means that you can use the ribbons to cook with higher dexterity than you normally would be able to.
Yeah. That could be an option for the team's meal this evening, maybe. Maybe I will do a roll for that. Try to take over. I mean, Hot Dog doesn't probably like to do extra cooking after coming home anyway, so. We'll see that later. Before bed. I'll do a roll for that.
Yeah, I mean...
But yeah, so Ralph is just gonna hang out at the HQ while Brooke does stuff at the club?
Yeah, we're gonna go back to HQ, touch base with everyone, cause, you know, he figures, yeah, we're probably about done here. Yeah, we can never rest for long.
Are you bringing,
week, what do you want?
Are you bringing Mawai along, or is she staying with Georgie?
We can't leave our child unattended, I don't think.
Technically, it's a team meeting. Mawai's not part of it.
Mobile also has had enough adventure for a little while.
Yeah, she's probably good.
So, Brooke,
Yes.
how do you respond to the cricketoon silence?
Alright, so Brooke will just look around, kind of crossing his arms, and then say, "What's up? Y'all look like you seen a ghost."
Florence attempts to twang the baduntus out. A little hard, he doesn't have the cymbals going. Why, well done, lad. Looks like you've gone and grown up a fair bit. If you happen to be the same person I think you are.
Brooke will grin and say, "You got it," and head for the bar.
Florence is going to lean on the bar, getting closer to Brooke. Deadeye's remaining eye narrows. They take a seat on the other side of Brooke. Now that must be a very fascinating tale. Would you be willing to tell it?
At some point, Brooke will say. Right now, I've got to let everyone know I'm back.
Aye, fine plan. Oi, Rise. Your favourite water type's back. Rise, currently in the kitchen with their back turned.
Like
Oh,
the
is
three
that
of us.
Is that so? Gee, I wonder who it could be, considering how few water types there are in Savannah. They'll cast a look over their shoulder. Welcome back, Brooke. Don't know why everyone is so shocked.
I did put on a few pounds, I think.
Well, in that case, are you hungry?
Famished. What you got for me?
Well, we're starting to run low on meat again, so you'll have to forgive me on that front. Deadeye snorts. Really? How did you manage to go through all that ride on meat? Rise turns around, giving them a very annoyed look. You'll be surprised how little edible meat is underneath all those plates. They wave a wooden spoon in Deadeye's face, using their tail.
That's adorable.
Not that I don't appreciate it, but I could do with a little less complaint on how much we ate. It's a rare treat, you know. Fine. I guess I'll go find something then. They huff, acting disappointed as they leave the Pioneering Club.
Real cool. Wow, my head is not in space right now.
It's okay.
Brooke will probably just say something encouraging. I don't know.
It's okay.
Something, it's fine, I'll eat whatever.
Yeah, bring me back a cow. I don't know.
No,
Catch me a Tauros to go, won't you?
Yeah. If you find any Tauros out there,
I call dibs or something like that.
something like that.
They'll just wave dismissively as they go. It's Deadeye. That said, Rise is going to put a bowl of stew in front of you as a consolation. You can thank Ralph for this one. It's the best thing I could make with noodle fruit.
Oh boy, Brooke says half enthusiastically.
Let's go. The name Noodle Fruit is canon.
He'll accept it graciously.
Go ahead and give me a we'll say a tough contest perform.
Ooh.
You are able to swallow it down. It's not bad, but it's still made with noodle fruit by majority.
It's got quite the texture.
Same thing everyone else has said. At least it's warm, which seems to help.
Well, I wouldn't turn it away if I had to eat it.
Why? Better than hardtack. Lawrence leans on an elbow on the counter. Ugh, bloody nights. I don't know how they survive out over there. Anyway, when you're done, I assume you'll want to go inform Pangoro about this development.
That was the plan. Maybe let him in on our next step.
I'm sure he'll appreciate it. But he's not in here right now.
Oh, where is he?
Last I checked, he was going out to the orchard.
Alright. I'll head that way then.
Good luck. Yeah, apparently the chatty bird has become a permanent fixture.
In the orchard?
No, in the town.
Ah. Well. Nothing I can't handle.
Who knows, maybe seeing you will finally shut him up.
I doubt that.
Now you say that, and he strums across his chest, but you left the whole tavern speechless, mate.
You have a point. I'll see what I can do.
Small aside, I know Florence's voice is all over the place right now. I'm trying my best.
I didn't notice. I thought it sounded
I
good.
commiserate.
Speechless. Shucks. I know exactly what I want to say to him.
Too bad you're here, not here. You're forthwelling.
No, I was saying that it's Doreen again. I'm sorry.
I mean, okay, Doreen would be in the clubhouse, though, so...
Oh, Doreen would be, yeah.
I might just type out a few things here.
That's
That is
fine.
A-okay.
And this is actually a good time. Let's see. So I got a couple page numbers, different ones for different people for some reason. So let me look at both of them, I guess. So
Well,
I think
there is no page 432 on the OG Pokerole core book.
that's because it got split into parts. The other parts of the book are still here, though. It's yeah, each there's 5 sections. Basically, it's because there is a state limit. So if we look here, this is like page 153. See, so there are more. I just need to find the right book, basically. Oh, this got locked at something.
It would be the one that has all the abilities in it.
Yeah, I think that's. I want to say it's the last one, actually. Whoops.
It probably would be, as it's right before abilities.
These probably should have been named like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make it easier. Oh, that's 90. Okay, that's not quite enough. I think they're all out of order. I'll put them in order once I put them back away. This one? It's fine, it's one of them. No. So it's gonna be literally the last one I pull out, isn't it? Let's see. Let's see. Wait, what?
Oh, the moves and ability books are in the other Pokedex.
Oh, that's why I was like, it ends at 287. Why is it end at 297? I was very confused. All right, hold on a second. Well, I'm gonna go. At least this gives me an opportunity to sort the book, so it's okay.
Unless it didn't make it into our books, but we'll see.
I think. Whoa! You put something out in it. Okay, I'm gonna put that away. Okay, that's one. I'm just sorting them since I have the opportunity.
Woo!
Yeah, every time you respond to it does that. Okay.
This is the page.
83, that's the next one, isn't it? Okay. I'm just putting them back away in the right order.
There we go.
83, 153,
What? How can we have a copy?
216. I don't know when that happened. I guess that means one can be deleted.
Oh, hang on, let me...
Oh, hold on. I was just about to finish.
1, 4... Oh, okay.
I'll put that there.
Where'd 3 and 4 go?
It's right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Oh, okay, okay, it's all...
It's all there. I'll
2,
rearrange
3,
it a
4,
little bit.
5 through 7, okay.
Yep. I don't know why there's extra parenthesis numbers, but don't worry about it. Oh, the parenthesis number is order. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see. I guess that's how it was set up. Okay. Anyways, yeah, this book, which was in the other Pokedex, yeah.
Yep, it's at the very bottom of the moves.
Right. So those,
section.
yeah, those are split. Okay, so here's what we have on 369. So let's see here. Oh yeah, strength chart. Take a look at this, everybody. I don't think I've ever looked at this page. So strength chart lifting capability. So the ribbons have a lifting capability of 100 pounds or 45 kilograms. That's pretty good. That's most objects that you would normally pick up anyways, I think. And then a strength score of, how much do I have again for my normal stuff? 5 right now. That's 650 pounds. That is a lot of weight.
Yep, and that is lifting capacity. Also, apparently, athletic adds to lifting capacity.
Is that different? So I can pick this up, but doesn't necessarily mean I can carry it, right?
Yeah, this is basically your ability, how much you can lift maximum. It doesn't state, like, carry capacity, but because, like, wielding is less than lifting is less than drag.
Yeah.
Because usually your ability to drag is 3 times your lift capacity.
And then if we go to page 432, which would be the very last book, that's the one Krisav said I should look at too. 4... Wait, what? This doesn't go to 432.
Like I said, the OG book does not go to 432.
Oh, so they're talking about the updated one. Oh, I see. Sorry, I didn't understand.
Alright, I'm ready.
Okay.
Brooke will finish his bowl and give Rise a nod. Satisfying as always, thank you. Then he'll turn to Florence and say, I'll tell you the story a little later, but it's got a bit of backstory to it, so be prepared. He chuckles before heading to the door. Before he leaves, he'll stop and turn and address the room. If anyone's curious, I'll be leaving in a couple days, so if you want to see how you match up, you better ask soon. He grins and then leaves.
Oh boy. A challenge has been issued.
Oh.
Well, Brooke now has things to occupy himself for a couple days.
Mhm.
The arrogance.
Mhm.
Also,
He's
Tubby,
feeling himself right now.
Tubby, I don't know if you noticed, but this other chart, 800 pounds is how much you can lift, too. Or how much round.
800 pounds.
Yeah.
Shit.
Wow, you could lift yourself.
I could chuck Brooke.
That's actually not hard. He's not that heavy. Compared to that, at least.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And Tucker, your ribbons can literally lift you.
Oh, yeah!
Oh,
Oh!
you could suspend yourself in midair. Oh,
You
yo.
can Spider-Man.
My own stilts. Just, it's like a card jack. I got a chart jack. Just push him
Leader
down.
catapult attack. Chuck.
That could give me extra height to climb a ledge or something, though, actually.
It could. Now then, Brooke. You're headed off to the orchard, I would assume.
Yes.
Well, you head over there, and of course, turn heads wherever you go. For multiple reasons. Including a certain Lilligant who will ecstatically wave to you on her way back to the spa from the market.
Brooke will wave back.
But you will find in the orchard Simisage and Simipore, alongside Laurantis, as well as Pangoro and the Chatot, who is currently perched on a tree branch instead of on Pangoro's shoulder. They like living.
How's the orchard looking?
The orchard is looking okay. It's better than you last left it, and both of the Simis are looking... Oh wait, is it Simi or Pan? I think it's Simi.
Yeah, Simi, I think.
Whichever the evolved one is. You guys know what I mean. They're both looking pretty pleased with how things are going. The Chatot, of course, has their little notepad out, scribbling things with an expression of general disdain. Pangoro seems to be reclining somewhat against the tree the Chatot is on, arms folded, nodding as the two Simis are going over how things have been. There happens to be a new plot off to the side, where they've been planting things.
More noodle fruits, I imagine.
I mean, they haven't grown yet.
Brooke will approach. Maybe try and catch an inkling of what they're discussing on the way.
Alright, go ahead and give me an insight survival alert.
Huh, the siblings are not in the bag, or at least I can't find them.
They may have been broken.
Oh no! That's true, actually.
From what you can overhear, the two Simmies are... excited is a good word to put it, over their newest crop, which seems to have no trouble taking at the moment.
Mm.
And the Chatot says something snide about it not being the most tasteful of bounties. And just as you're stepping up, Pangoro will reply to them.
Maybe not. But at least we're finally fulfilling our duty, aren't we?
Well, I can't write you up for not doing that.
As Brooke walks up, he'll say, "Call it an acquired taste. It'll be a local delicacy."
And who might you be?
Brooke of Team Cheer, sir.
The Chatot blinks a few times. Their jaw unhinges, and literally what you just said comes out of their mouth. Is they're repeating what you said to them back to themselves?
It's been a busy week.
So I can see.
Pangoro sighs, pinching the bridge of his snout.
Though I do wish Ralph would not torture the post office.
Could have sworn I told him not to do that anymore. But when the brook is away...
Well, it's fine. Out of all the transfers that I had to put through, only one of them actually happened, and that was Toucanon. She needed it.
Toucan. Wow.
Don't worry, she's not off continent. She's in Sea Spray.
The beach will be good for her blood pressure.
One can only hope.
Just thought I'd fill you in on what's going on, Pangoro.
I appreciate it. You've always been dutiful like that.
Rai said I could find you out here, so here I am.
We were just inspecting the new crop.
Ralph's suggestion, right?
Apparently so. Of course, we dismissed it initially, but, well, we can't keep limiting our own options now, can we?
Can't be too choosy. I just had a stew with it, and it's interesting.
It is what I would describe as better than nothing.
And nothing is what we had, so... an improvement.
A minor one, if that. But an improvement, I will admit.
Suck it, B-plot. I'm winning.
It seems that overly large comedian has his uses.
Oh, he's way useful. That's why I've got him on my team.
Rourke happens to have an eye for talent. More so than myself, I'd almost say.
Ah, you're making me blush.
If you're done flattering each other, they tap their pencil on their notepad.
Right.
Is there anything else you might be able to report, Mr. Brooke?
Right. Well, I've completed both missions for V and for Mawile, so I am now free to head to the Mesa. That is, if Laurantis is free.
I'm sure we can arrange that. They should be able to guide you to the Mesa just fine. Or is that a problem? They open one eye, glaring at the Chatot. Considering they have been absolved, they lift their wings and do the air quotes thing. Of their criminal record, I suppose there's no problem in it. And they have been performing community service. Of their own volition.
Of their own volition. I suppose it's nothing I can write up anybody for, thankfully. Though I suppose it bears telling you, since you and your team have been away. And you're the team leader, still.
Well, last I checked.
According to the last letter I received from the Explorers Guild and the Council of Knights and the Rescue Association, they do not have anybody to spare. To put lightly, nobody will replace anybody here, so you can rest assured.
Brooke will nod. Alright.
You happen to leave out 2 or 3 facts, Chatot.
And I'm to be Pangoro's new secretary.
That's so. Brooke will just kind of give Pangoro a concerned look.
Apparently, they have little need of my capacity as an auditor at the moment. But that's fine. It just means I can keep everything in account. And there is a request from the Knights Council on the Mist Continent. Are you acquainted with Team Gallant?
Oh yeah, we met. Brooke will say.
They have not reported back to the Council in an extended period of time. We have been asked to determine their status. And if they happen to be indisposed, missing, or otherwise, a new squadron of knights is going to be sent here. And we will be expected to train them. As Chatot tilts their head 25 degrees to the right, forcing what you can only assume is a smile across their beak.
Are we qualified to be training knights?
No. What that means is they're probably going to send green squires out here, and that is going to cause us a lot of headaches.
I see.
Do you remember the issue you had with Team Gallant initially?
Yes.
Imagine that happening every week.
Oh dear.
So, if you wouldn't mind, consider this a official mission. We do have a few
scouting teams around.
By the way, do you know anything about the messenger, Salandits?
Oh, the what? Brooke will question.
We've had teams reporting that there are Salandits popping up getting them messages with information. We happened to receive one just the other day, actually.
Brooke just shakes his head. Haven't heard a thing about it.
Odd.
I'd ask Lizard, but he's still in Sea Spray.
Actually, it has something to do with Sea Spray.
Oh.
And from his coat pocket, he's going to pull out, pardon me, a rolled up piece of paper that he'll unfurl with a little snap of his wrist.
It says here that Shaman has recovered.
Brooke will smile. Really? That's great news.
Indeed. It also says here that Hatterene will be staying in Sea Spray for the time being.
Okay.
It's possible that they're going to be performing... Oh, what would be the word for it? More therapy?
He shrugs.
Well, I appreciate her help.
In any case, this means that Riley and Lizard will likely return to Savannah soon.
Alright. I'll have to see if I can meet with Shaman at some point. He mutters mostly to himself.
But for now,
He'll stow the letter away.
Laurentis,
He barely needs to raise his voice, and Laurentis takes notice, striding over. You called for me?
Team Cheer is going to be leaving in a few days for the Mesa. Will you be able to guide them?
Laurentis nods, then turns back to the orchard tenders, bowing to them. Of course.
There. Done and done. Make the arrangements with your team. In the meantime, I'll be sure to get your payment for the 2 requests collected.
I'm pretty sure he already paid us, Brooke will mention. But thank you.
Oh, really? Somehow I thought they wouldn't.
They agreed to give us a share of our findings.
Ah, I see. Well, the least I can do is arrange for the payment from Mawa's request. Give me a day or so.
You got it, boss.
Oh joy! More fishing through stacks of paperwork that haven't been organized in weeks.
Well, it's a good thing he has a secretary now, then.
Chatot glares daggers at Brooke.
He'll give a wave and head back to headquarters.
Excellent. That means everybody's gonna finally be at HQ.
Yay!
Ha ha! That's the perfect reaction to Chatot's situation. Fucking Nelson laugh.
Fourth Brawl breaking Ralph kind of makes sense for all the little comments there, though, because the way I was posing the scene, Ralph's been over Fangoro's shoulder this whole time, so it's just these little comments coming in.
Yeah, when it won't make sense, I just sort of type them like I have a joke to make, but I'm not there. I usually just type it.
I pulled their edges out since they'll be with us soon, so.
Go get you a drink, Brooke. In the meantime, before Brooke returns, but after Ralph makes his way into the HQ, Liar is going to come back. And they're going to bring with them a number of colorful stakes.
Oh,
Liar, I love you.
They're in a bag rather than in a box like Squirt's crayons, mind you. But they gingerly leave the bag at Ryda's feet.
Ryda, of course, looks up to see Liar bring them and expresses thanks and sort of gives him a pat on the head.
They trill and seem very pleased with themselves.
Yes, Ryda will take the colored sticks and start using them to color in their sketch that they seem somewhat okay with at this point.
To note, you do not have a rainbow of colors, but there's a good array of colors, including several hues of like green and blue.
Ryda only needs 3 colors. Blue, something akin to a tan or a yellow would do, and red.
There are 2 yellows. One is lighter, one is darker, like ochre.
They're not going to be too picky. Just whatever looks closest to tan, they're going to try using that.
Liar went and bought those at the market.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cool. What's you drawing? Awkward stand over shoulder.
So Ryda kind of just like on instinct, as you sort of appear behind them, they like pull the paper to their chest and like turn to look at you, and then realize it's Ralph, and then sort of lowers it so you can actually see.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
What you see is this looks to be some very awkward drawing of Brooke. The features are a lot more rounded. You can see on like the sides of Brooke's head are like these thin like ear things. You can see that across like the eyes and are like, you know, when someone like crosses out really hard and it darkens. They have that over the eyes. But yeah, it is a crude drawing of Brooke in his new form, but it's a lot more rounded, and some things aren't exactly the same.
You realize I will be requesting this drawing.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
Well, I guess I gotta draw that.
Only if you want to, but that sounds interesting.
I can attempt to. I don't think I have any actual colored pencils, though. I might. I have to see.
I mean, you can use like colored pencils or crayons or whatever.
I know, but I don't know if I have them IRL.
Me sitting with like 4 sets of colored pencils somewhere in my house I haven't touched. Such is my suffering.
I do have some art supplies. I might have some. But yeah, that's what Ralph sees. And it's starting to be colored in, the majority of the body being blue, of course, with bits of tan. You can see around the jaw, on the underbelly, and then sort of like these streaks on like where Brooke's ribs would be. And then when it comes to the red, you can only see the red spikes on top of his head, but the rest are blue.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Looking pretty radical.
Thank you. I am attempting to clear up some things for myself.
Nods. Yeah, well, I'm sure art's good therapy, or something like that.
I suppose.
I have a weird question for you all. Do you think there would be paper clips or tape?
I think yes to paper clips. Tape, though, I'm not so sure about. Like, I can imagine them making, like, metal clips.
Yeah, clips are kind of easy, not very hard to produce, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because, yeah, Squirtle comes over with this 3-part picture that has been... not exactly human paper clips, but the Pokemon equivalent.
You know, if you notch a stick just right, you can use it as a paper clip. It's just like a normal stick. So, yeah.
Yeah, like clothespins, almost.
Yeah, like a clothespin.
Actually.
I mean, it would make sense. They use it to cut wood to make it.
They're probably using clothespins or something.
Yeah.
But this 3-part picture that's bound together, and it's like one is supposed to be Brooke, and then it has one arm stretched into the middle picture, which is overly long, but, Squirt is a kid. And in the middle is clearly a little Squirtle that is holding onto Brooke's hand. And then there's another yellow hand that extends into the third picture, and it's Deadeye, including the empty socket. And he gave all of them smiles, even Deadeye.
Squirt with his gay dads.
No. But they're going to happily show off this picture, 3-part picture to everyone with the big sparkly eyes.
Adorable.
Ryder gives a nod. Not expressing anything particular, just approval.
Puppy is going to sniff at all these drawings and paw at them.
Tucker will definitely... Tucker probably was present for part of the conversation between Ralph and Ryder. Tucker's just kind of milling about the place, so just the public areas. So Tucker will also give Squirrel quite a bit of praise for that wonderful drawing. Squirt doesn't even mean that like Paris. They're just so excited.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch Squirt, they are going to be signing very excitedly, which may make it a little hard to keep up. But one thing you'll definitely catch is they refer to Brooke as Big Brother and Deadeye as Friend.
Adorable. They were best friends.
They were just roommates.
They were roommates. That's great.
Also, I'm sorry, Tucker. Did you react to Puppy pawing at the drawings?
Tucker keep an eye on Puppy, making sure they don't go for any nibbles. But pawing's okay. Art is not food.
I mean, food can be art, but art is not food.
Yes. It's like rectangle and squares.
Art feeds the soul, not the belly.
Though
Puppy
on
will
that
look-
note, since go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
Tucker will probably mention to everyone that they've been practicing a bit with their new little, I guess we'll call them tendrils, and does take a moment to demonstrate that they're quite dexterous and have a bit of ability to pick up decently heavy objects. Probably pick it up, saying around the base, like a chair or something. And then Brooks taking a little longer than expected, because technically he went to the clubhouse and then he had to go over to the garden. So he's going to be gone for a little bit, right? So Tucker would probably announce to everyone that he's going to try to cook dinner tonight. Not that he has a lot of cooking experience, but he seems excited about it. Because he's got this new dexterity and he wants to try it out.
Ryda has no reason to question Tucker's cooking ability at this time, other than being a quadruped, but you have tendrils, so checks out.
I'm really not sure what word to use there. Ribbons is popular because Sylvian. They're basically dark ribbons, kind of. I don't know. Tell me your favorite word. What's that?
Oh, just me going for my non-starter meme of flesh ribbons.
I'm slightly less cursive than that suggestion, though.
No, ribbons would be very accurate to it, but you can use whatever to describe
I mean,
them.
I already wear a bow, so saying that they're ribbons does kind of make sense, I guess. Bows and ribbons. Mystic fairy hands. That's pretty cool, but a little long. That sounds like something very special.
Fairy tales.
Fairy tales. I like that. I'll probably call them ribbons. So they're described as ribbons required for describe. That's true. That was DM official term. So, and also everybody knows Sylvian ribbon, so it immediately evokes the correct visualization for the audience. Anyways, Tucker won't be cooking immediately though. It'll be after the meet. So.
Squirt will sign to Tucker that they look forward to something besides hot dogs cooking. And comment that hot dog has been boring.
Tucker does respond to that by saying, after a little trouble reading the sign, I don't think Tucker knows the sign language quite as well, but he picks up on it. And he says, well, I mean, hot dog has to do all the cooking over at the clubhouse too, so I'm not surprised if he's not exactly making the most complicated meals. Not that I intend to make the most complicated meal either. I don't exactly have a ton of cooking experience, but I'm going to do my best.
I think at this point, Ryda would finish their drawing, and they sort of pause to look over it.
While you're looking over at Ryda, Puppy is trying their best at being sneaky to try and take one of the color sticks. They're just slowly leaning down and opening their mouth just a little bit.
Ryda's gonna do a glance to the side and just casually use Psychic to lift the bag into the air, out of reach.
The moment you glance, they freeze, and then they whine when you put the bag out of their reach and sit staring at it.
Tucker will come over and note to Puppy, alright now, that's not a bone, that's for coloring.
Puppy whines, and they try to make words, but it mostly comes out as gruff little barky noises.
The intent is still understood, at least by Tucker.
They seem mildly frustrated by the implication that you you think that they think that those are bones. Bones are big and crunchy. They make a pouty face.
He went to color too. Oh, maybe he did. Tucker will think for a second and then express. Maybe you can color some stuff yourself later too. But this is Ryda's drawing, so we probably shouldn't color in that one. That does give Tucker an idea, though. And, probably later, after dinner, we'll probably get some paper and give Puppy a chance to try coloring if they want to. Or just drawing.
They
I'm
nod.
imagining him being, like, toothless.
They nod, but still whine.
Aw.
I wanted to do the drawing now.
Tucker will go ahead and ask Ryda, since they're not actually his. You mind if we borrow those color sticks for later?
Ryda turns to look at Lyre for confirmation, since technically Lyre was the one who got him.
Lyre tilts their head and then nudges it in Ryda's direction. You're not passing the buck of this answer to them.
Passing the buck.
You can't pass the sawsbuck here, they are.
Well, with that, they turn back to Tucker. I suppose that will be fine. Just be careful with them.
Of course. Thanks. Maybe I'll try drawing too. And Tucker will take the
And
bag
nod.
and put it somewhere for safekeeping for now.
I feel like
Yeah.
around now Brooke should return.
Yippee!
Which also means it's a good moment for me to stretch my legs while Kyrio collects their thoughts.
There is a momentary bit in that where Tucker does look like they feel bad for just assuming the puppy wanted to chew on everything, and does want to encourage like doing other things like drawing and stuff. That's a good thing for puppy to do.
They saw it and it looked nice, and they were like, I want to do that too, but they can't the words.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ryda's only ever seen Puppy be one to bite and break things, so they're kind of assuming, oh, he's gonna try and bite him.
It is a bit habitual, unfortunately, but
I mean,
they're growing up.
Look, they're gonna come back to you kinda chewed on, and one or two may be broken because of jaw strength, but it's not intentional.
That will be kept to a minimum because Tucker's going to draw a puppy, so there's not going to be too much chewing at least.
Oh, you're fine, Kyrio. I was saying that around this time, Brooke would probably be coming back to the clubhouse, since we had just finished the little scene with the colored pencil doodles.
You missed that puppy actually wants to draw too, so that's going to be for later tonight, after dinner and stuff. Doodling or just being art appreciators, you know.
Yes, everyone is in the lobby at the moment.
Well, Kyrio writes, I also want to note the dexterity chart's kind of worth looking at, too. So it tells you your basic movement speed.
Which I appreciate it, but also I don't think most people understand how fast those speeds are.
They're kind of ridiculous. 99 miles per hour. That's speeding on a freeway for sure. Yeah, I feel like this is one of those things we probably would homebrew, but it's still kind of interesting to look at.
15 miles an hour. That's about as fast as I can ride my bike when I'm like leaning forward and pumping my legs.
You can go 90 miles per hour on a bike?
Not 99, 15.
Oh, I was gonna say,
looking at
what?
my score.
That sounds unsafe. You need a very big hill to get that speed, but you're not going to be stopping after that.
Oh, God. Over 800 pounds of fucking tank coming at you at 15 miles an hour.
Oh, wait, I just realized an important question. How many ribbons do I have?
You have 2. But I would say that you probably haven't yet experimented with there being more.
True. For 2 for now. I had a question then. The lifting capacity, is that for both of them together or just one of them? As in, when you said 2 pips, I'm thinking 2 pips for them together or 2 pips per?
It's 2 pips per,
Okay.
but if you combine them together, it still only acts as 2 pips.
Okay.
They're capped at the 100-pound limit, basically.
Alright, I'm just going to make a note of that. There we go. I feel like if I got clever enough, like, if Tucker got clever enough, they could use it to, like, push off the ground and, like, big jump. Big jump. Extra push. Boing.
Cue mascot collectathon where it's Tucker and they use the ribbons to do the super jump.
Or push off behind to do long jump.
You start the game somewhere outside of town, return to town, get to your closet, da-da-da-da, there's your maid outfit. With this, you can perform the super jump. Or, no, it wouldn't be called the super jump, it'd be called the ribbon jump.
The ribbon jump. I like that. I do like the incidentally aspect of that I'm exactly the right way to lift myself.
Would you like me to voice these lines, Kyrio? Okay, just making sure. Brooke will enter and look around and put his hands on his hips. Why are you all in front of the desk? People can't get to it with everyone hanging around the lobby.
I feel like Ryder would have the first reaction, probably.
Oh, sorry, I was sketching.
It's okay.
I started sketching. But yeah. Ryder would look up upon seeing Brooke and sort of stand upright, holding the paper to their chest, not showing it off yet. We were waiting for you to arrive.
Well, that's kind of an interesting question for Mass Spell.
Since you Proton at first before possessing Voltoy, Ghost Electric, Voltoy Ground Psychic, would Georgie still be Proton or have a Baltoy typing? So since they are possessing the Baltoy, they will have the Baltoy's typing.
That makes sense. Rotom is designed to be adaptable. And thus probably sway into whatever they're going into. At least to some degree.
Also, we can swap to locales 8 when people feel like it, just because we're a cheer HQ.
Okay.
Well, here I am. I think we need a team meeting, so let's all head upstairs, Rook says.
And Ryder will nod. Is Lair
Lorantis? They will be attending, but they were late to arrive. So they come in the door just as Brooke is calling the meeting, trying to be very quiet as they slip in. Even going so far as to slowly shut the door so it doesn't make any noise. And
Mood.
pitter-patter up next to Brooke. That whole I got into classroom late, but I was totally here thing.
But yeah, I mean, Tucker has no objections to a meeting, so Tucker will corral Puppy for a second and start heading upstairs.
Alright then.
I assume everybody else is going upstairs too after that.
Mm-hmm.
What was the area we left called again? The Moonlight Ruins. It's called the Moonwide Ruins,
Moonlight.
if I recall correctly from notes. Yes, which I believe is also the song. I think it's under Dungeons 2. It is.
It is. Very good.
Brooke settles in at the table, waiting for everyone to arrive. He seems a little more upbeat than he was when we returned from the Moonwide Ruins.
That's definitely something that Tucker notices. And seems appreciative of. Actually, Tucker will venture a statement to Brooke as they all settle around the table. And before anything gets going, Tucker will ask, "You feeling a bit better lately, Brooke? You seem to have been, well, a little changed beyond just your body." And while Brooke types, I may as well ask, is everybody else settling around the table normally?
Yeah, Ryda does politely sit and puts the paper they drew face downward.
That's fair.
Squirtle is, of course, going to come to the table, and they will lay out their drawing on the table. They are very pleased with it, as well as like 2 or 3 other drawings of Brooke.
Just a little artist.
Yes, they are very excited. Do not underestimate the speed capabilities of an excited child. But Wire will sidle up along Ryda, giving them minor side-eye. Brooke ponders a moment. Well, I'm still upset about what happened, but let's just say I've widened my perspectives a bit. He smirks. And I've got to resolve a couple things while I was out.
Tucker seems in agreement to that and gives a nod.
Brooke looks at Squirt's drawings. Oh wow, look at that. You sure did that quick. Look at that, you even got Deadeye's socket. It's not that scary, is he? Squirt will nod. They will also sign to Brooke, referring to Deadeye as a friend, and to you as Big Brother. They say that Deadeye is a really cool friend. And of course they drew Deadeye smiling, because Deadeye never smiles. But they know that Deadeye has to be smiling inside.
Artistic liberty. That's a very sweet reason to give them a smile.
He's a good friend to have, Brooke says, giving him a head pat. A little gingerly, since he's a lot bigger now. Yeah, your whole hand is capable of completely engulfing Squirt's head, but they are totally fine with this. It is a head pat. They are very pleased. They just sort of bop a little from side to side in their chair.
There goes the sketch.
Speaking of Zelda items, Brooke's hand is so big that he could put Puppy in his hand and be like, da-da-da-da, Puppy.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't find any colored stuff in my drawer, so guess it's just a sketch.
Oh, should I share it? Let me see.
You can if you want.
Okay, I will share it. I definitely think the audience
Yeah,
will
yeah.
be curious.
You can see what I mean by more rounded features, the like fin ear things.
Yeah, okay, let me get this over here.
The art of a madman drawing with a bunch of like scribbled out things, X's, erase marks.
That's cool.
So, obviously, I've been gone a week or so. As you can see, I paid a visit to Kamal. I can get into it a little more later, but let me know what's been going on with you all first.
Give a thumbs up.
Alright, well, there's, oh, what was my thing? Here it is. Well, aside from, just hanging out around here, I do have one really cool thing to show everyone first. I'm gonna put my crossbow on the table. Check it out. I'm not sure if it's safe to fire in here, but now I can shock stuff from really far away. I like aim down the sights and like, yeah, super cool. Oh, and me and Mawile decided that after the adventure we get married.
Congratulations, Ralph.
After he says that, he goes into like the :3 face.
Oh no, Hydra.
Oh no, I just showed you a picture that you left. Don't be embarrassed,
I'm still
Hydra, it's
here.
okay.
I'm still here.
I know you are. You are in the voice call, but you did leave the room for some reason.
Ah. Cool.
Ralph mentioning the whole marriage thing, Liar is going to briefly and kind of bubbly say something to Ralph. Since I don't feel like using their nonsense language right now. Hey Ralph, you want to try translating that with your psychic powers?
Alternatively, Ryder could just tell you, since they probably know what it means.
Or do you want Ryda to tell you?
I'll attempt to read it. Like, wow.
Alright. Go ahead and give me insight contest perform, please. And I will get to Brooke's line right after.
Tucker's also congratulatory about the marriage. I was busy putting the picture up. Which is very neat.
Hard to tell. There's a couple words that these words could be. They seem happy, so something like, I knew you could do it, maybe? Hey, Ryda. Liar just offered to essentially be the officiator.
Aw. Not sure how good that would be, considering most people can understand you, but Ryda relays the actual answer to Ralph. He offers to be your officiary for the event.
Oh, gee, I don't know. Doesn't it have to be like someone official? I suppose he is like an acolyte for Eternatus, but Eternatus isn't really the love god. He's like the prison god. So,
Liar deadpans at you.
I believe I've said too much, but don't it have to be like a city official, like Pango Jango or someone like that.
I don't think Ryda would know.
No, they would definitely
They-
not know.
There are no Pokemon present to correct Ralph's misconception here. Also, Liar's still giving Ralph a look like, liar of all creatures an acolyte of Eternatus. How dare you? Look, just because they play the role of Persephone in this story does not mean that they're the acolyte to Hades here. Anyway.
And also showing up to officialize a marriage is a very bizarre concept, though. Just thinking that.
An electric crossbow. That's pretty neat. Wait, what? Burke says, taking a moment to realize what he said. Jeez. You can't just drop that bomb so casually.
Is Ralph gonna flex how he made it?
I mean, he'll go into the basic, like what it does. The technicality of how it works, I don't think he'd get into that, but he would show that it works and what it does. I don't think he'd fire it inside, though.
As a refresher, what does it do again?
It turns the, on a game mechanics level, it makes the zapper be able to target anything, not just whatever's in front of me.
Projectile.
Yeah.
Just don't point it at Brooke. Correct.
So I guess the official term is it's a zappy thrower.
That's not how it works, but now I'm imagining the zapper getting just flung from the crossbow when Ralph fires it.
Improvised! Have to go get it out, pick it up afterwards, so. Let's see. I guess we're taking turns here. I'm actually trying to remember, is it just the puppy thing that Tucker needs from? Oh, well, I guess that's so. The outfit. Well, the outfit's basically all I've been brought up to everybody, so. Yeah, am I blanking on something?
I know Ryda has something to share personally, but I don't know about Tucker, what he's gonna share.
Tucker will go next. Also, you disconnected again.
Damn it.
Just so you know. I saved the table just in case, by the way.
Bye.
Well, congratulations, Ralph, Burke says, on the proposal and the neat thing.
Yes, indeed. It's been pretty crazy since we all arrived. Just think we were all a little toddling along first stage Pokemon, and now we're a beastly unit of power and efficiency.
When Ralph mentions the first stage Pokemon thing, Tucker kind of wistfully gives Puppy a pat. Little head pat. Tucker will bring up his own topic when there's a moment and mention, well, you guys can already tell that I got a new outfit. Been testing out these ribbons. They seem pretty strong. I don't think they can lift as much as I can, but they might be pretty useful. Not just dexterity-wise, but just lifting in general. I hope this will make me more effective for everything, he says with kind of a blush. But there's one other thing, and he does prop up Puppy a little bit. Puppy's getting a little more grown up and a little more, well, destructive's a mean word, but he's starting to practice moves, and the spot can't keep him anymore. We gotta find a better place for him. I talked to Ralph about maybe Mudbray's ranch. Maybe he could work there and have enough space to practice without any harm. But I'm not sure for exactly what we should do with Puppy right now.
Puppy, staring with the :3 face. Bite.
Adorable.
The ranch is a little far from home, isn't it? Perk asks, won't he miss you?
Well, yeah. The look on Tucker's face makes it clear that that would be mutual. I don't know. I was figuring that I could ask for more ideas here.
I'm trying to think. Honestly, the ranch seems like the best idea we got. Only other place Ryder could think of is probably the library tower, and that's definitely not a good idea.
Also, not any closer.
Mm-hmm.
Only if Ryda isn't able to teleport you.
I mean, that's true, right?
Yeah.
Technically, that would work for the ranch, too, though, teleport.
Mm.
Serious line.
Well, what about Rise? They seem pretty experienced raising kids. Have you talked to them for advice? Or wonders?
Tucker caught the plates for a second and then goes, Actually, I haven't yet. Has Rice had kids? He sort of says under his breath. Well, it's an idea. I could ask him. Maybe he'd know. He certainly has more connections than the rest of us. He might know a better place. Oh.
U2's thing allows you to get into and out of the library at will, and also lets you auto-return books.
Hmm.
It does not necessarily teleport you to the library.
Oh.
Mm.
How does it work exactly, then? Just...
It's like having a library card with extra perks.
Oh. So it's really just an axis. We'd still have to walk there. Or teleport another way. Actually, yeah, the tower's really protected. You can't just teleport in.
Also, then Tucker would be dependent on either Ralph or Ryder to get to Puppy.
Yeah.
Rise adopted Noibat. Plus, I think Purloin mentioned being related once, Brooke says.
Yeah. You did say that.
Tucker nods, remembering a little bit, too. Yeah, that's true. He seemed to think for a little bit, but doesn't say much more. Well, I'll talk to Rise about Puppy, but if he doesn't have any better ideas, Mudbray's Ranch might be best. I mean, I suppose I could ask Ryda, Ralph, you guys could teleport me over there now and then, right?
I suppose it would be doable. I'm not sure if Ralph is capable yet.
Fine. I mean, I could be a big old battery if nothing else.
Tucker glances at the crossbow. You seem to be good with those, he says. Oh.
They also kind of seem to treat you like their pup, too. But hey, the ranch isn't a terrible idea. Kind of a summer camp kind of thing.
Tucker kind of blushes at that first comment. Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, a summer camp. kind of thing. Exactly. I mean, I don't think Puppy would have to stay away forever, even if it was for a little while. It'd be more just some time to train and figure stuff out. Grow into his moves and stuff. Or their moves. Tucker will give Puppy another pat. I mean, they're getting smarter and smarter every day, right? Isn't that right, Puppy?
Yeah. Bite.
Well, was that bite? I didn't catch the line.
Yeah, bite.
Okay, Tucker will respond. Well, more than just biting, but yeah, that too, I guess. Bait eater.
Well, we shouldn't make assumptions. I'll send a message to Mudbrook. See if he's even open to the idea. Anything else?
Tucker nods gratefully. No, I think that's about it.
Well, if Tucker's done his thing, Ryder will sort of raise their hand and chime in. There is one more matter that we should discuss. Shortly after you were occupied, I was practicing my scrying, and I located where the Mechalucaria was. Based off of the mark I put on them, I was able to track their location. They appear to be currently residing in the Dead Star. Give Kyrio some time to type.
Not too surprising, though a little bit that you're able to see into it. Brooke says, might be useful for reconnaissance for our eventual attack.
I would not be too certain on such, as there is more to it. In my attempt to scry on the enemy, they were able to witness me in turn, and in an instant, someone was able to teleport directly to me.
That would immediately get Ralph's full attention as his head zips to you. Like he's there, he's watching, and then just immediately lock in.
Ryder did tell this to Tucker. That's why they were so concerned over, hey, Brooke is missing after this thing just happened.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember if it was fully filled in, because sometimes Ryder keeps things to themselves. Tucker, if anybody does look to Tucker, Tucker will have a grim expression on this, but not look surprised, because, yeah, Tucker didn't know.
Brookline.
Brooke raises a brow. Are you alright? Did they hurt you?
I forget what was the word they said to Ryder.
They wished you sweet dreams.
That's what it was. They did not harm me. The only thing they expressed was the sweet dreams before disappearing. This immediately caught my alarm, and I went to check on the rest of you, and to my surprise, you were absent, and thus why I was so concerned for your safety over the past few days.
Tucker nods to that and, kind of adding to it, says, Ryder told me about what had happened, and I made sure to stick around Ryder a little bit just to make sure they didn't pop up again and try anything else.
Creepy. Burke snorts. Well, sorry if I panicked you. But we've known that they're basically watching us all the time, so this doesn't really change anything. I've assumed they're always able to pop in when, where, and whenever they want.
I suppose that is the case, though
Not
this
in
could be to our advantage.
Not an unwise assumption. Augmentation is going to speak in the back of Brooke's head.
But yeah, how's Ralph reacting to all this? Other than the initial shock.
That's a good
Yeah, Ralph's locked in, like his hands are folded, and he's thinking hard. He's like the expression of intelligent side character and not comic relief side character. like he's there with his arms folded in front of his face, looking like Piccolo. Like
Ralph is locked in.
Locked in, fully serious.
yeah.
Brooke will close his eyes a moment, as if he's listening to something. Then he'll say, Anyway, the Death Star is up in space, so there's not much we can do about it right now. Well, good to know they can see us peeping.
Right, I'm not.
What is the power difference between us? If they are not shy or hesitant or worried to teleport, and he'll like kind of grab at the table a little bit, into our home. I suppose they could have a way of knowing that we weren't here, but I would be afraid to teleport to their base by myself, but they're not afraid to teleport to ours by themselves. That indicates that maybe we're not as close as I thought.
Tucker sort of gives a bit of a side eye to Ralph, not like a judgmental one, but oh wow, he's really serious right now kind of look.
Lyre's doing the same.
Tucker does think of one thing and directs a question to Rida. You know, there's one thing I didn't ask before. When they showed up in front of you, are we sure it was them? Like, in the flesh, or whatever they are? Or was it just an illusion, maybe? Like a projection like Mewtwo can do?
I cannot confirm one way or another.
Just a thought.
I feel like I should be changing the music.
It's got serious real quick.
Still kind of side-eyeing to Ralph, Tucker would finish by saying, it might seem kind of a random question, but on the subject of how much more power they have over us, I feel like that question might narrow it down a bit. One thing's for sure, they're confident.
I have no doubt they have full confidence in themselves, Brooke says to Ralph. They've had thousands of years to lay the pieces on the board, us included. He takes a look at everyone at the table, but they're not omnipotent.
Tucker nods. No, they aren't. They wouldn't be using us and others if they were.
Ralph grins. That's where we have an advantage, I guess. Because I feel like even if you did know everything, we are really, really hard to predict.
Events 2, number 1, I think.
Alright.
Which, yes, is a bit of an odd choice, I know.
The title is fitting now.
It sure is. And now, I might be able to shed some light on what they've been working on. Or at least I know someone who's been on that board just as long as they have, Brooke says.
Tucker sort of perks up to that. Even the floppy ear raising.
Yippee!
Oh, I see you found them. Good, good. I'm not going to make you roll for this one.
Oh, what's up? Ah! The new moves are here.
Yes. Specifically, Brooke is using Warlord's Toll.
New move, guys. I'll put it on the screen.
Which means I'm going to have to change the music again.
You are correct. Oh, I don't want to use that one yet.
I added the moves to the table the other day, but I didn't actually read them, partially because I like to come across stuff naturally. So I'm reading it only for the first time now. That's very interesting.
E249.
Okay.
As before the lot of you, a spectral figure detaches themselves from Brooke, almost as if they're coming out of Brooke's back. They're fur alligator, much like Brooke, darker in color, and unlike Brooke's white coat, theirs is black. And they have far more scars. They decide to take a seat, propping themselves up comfortably. Good to finally see you all.
I wave. How's it going?
Tucker looks surprised, but also, sort of in awe of this new ability that Brooke has.
Ryder gives a nod, not entirely sure who that is.
Everyone, I'd like you to meet Scales, Brooke says. Scales waves, giving a toothy half smile.
Ah. Tucker has a little grin now, and looks a bit warmer. Nice to meet you, Scales. I've heard a bit about you.
Oh, I know. Brooke likes to talk a lot about me, I think.
Seems like his aloof, cool guy attitude somewhat rubbed off on you. Or did yours rub off on him?
Also, correct Lobster with Pencils, which is a lovely name, by the way. Laurentis is here. They're watching all of this. They have just witnessed a ghost. Not a ghost Pokemon, a ghost.
Also, has Brooke ever mentioned Scales in front of Ryder before? I can't recall a time they have.
I'm not sure who knows what about Scales. I feel like Tucker knows the most because of that one time in the mansion, the glimpse and stuff, where Brooke was hanging out with Tucker for a bit. But
He hasn't mentioned Scales to anyone but Tucker.
Oh, I thought so. I wasn't sure, though.
I assumed he died on me when I was human. It turns out I was the one that left him behind. Whoops. Brooke grins. And I think it's his attitude that rubbed off on me.
Radical.
Does not like talking about Scales. Scales completely off on their estimation, but also they've been watching, so they know that they're lying through their teeth. Scales is lying through his teeth, not Brooke.
Tucker looks glad to see Scales, perhaps understanding already that he's probably part of the reason Brooke evolved, and part of the reason Brooke feels a bit better right now.
While y'all type, I'm going to start dinner quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And just for a refresher, because I know that it was a glimpse, so if you guys just watched the videos, you didn't maybe see the glimpse, it's on the Pokerole Discord of ours. I recommend reading it and the other glimpses. But basically in the mansion, after Brooke did have the spirit of Scales and Totodile for a little bit around the party, I feel like basically after that, Brooke went to be alone during that mansion night, and during that time, Tucker came over and had a conversation. Tucker actually wanted to meet Scales properly, because there was really time for it before. But by that time, the spirit had left and wasn't there. So instead, Tucker had a conversation about Scales and Brooke.
Oh yeah, I remember, because Ryda caught them talking and then went about their way because they didn't want to interrupt. So they didn't catch the conversation, but they know that a conversation happened.
Yeah, and Scales was there at the mansion because of the weird mansion energies and stuff. So there was a brief period of time where I think Scales was visible to most of the party, or was it just Tucker? I don't remember, but there was a brief time where Scales was visually there, I guess.
He might have been, but Ryda and Ralph are separate from
everybody. Yeah, everybody was really
bit.
scattered, so I think it may have just been Tucker that saw. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Scales mostly hid whenever other people were around.
I think it's just that Tucker was observant. No NPCs could see him when Brooke talked, but Tucker did see him, I think. That might make sense. I mean, after all, connection. And Brooke's somebody that Tucker's already connected with a few times at this point.
Anyway, he's actually been sort of linked to augmentation since I originally died. My aspect. And so he's been part of this fight the longest. So, hopefully, he can help us figure out what we need to worry about.
Tucker pipes up and says, well, yeah, we definitely appreciate your wisdom, Scales. Thank you.
I'm at your disposal, he shrugs, and then leans forward, folding his hands on the table. So, ask whatever questions you're going to ask. Because, honestly, there's so much up here. They gesture and poke at their head. That unless you're specific, I might not be giving you exactly what you want. They look over, wildly apologetic to Brooke. Sorry.
How did you become part of augmentation?
I'm gonna wait for them to finish typing first.
Okay.
I don't remember what you all have been calling the Clockwork Butler. I know we've been calling him that out of character.
Yeah, that's been a completely OOC term, but in character, I don't think we've really used many words for him.
We usually just say that thing.
That Clockwork Bastard! I mean, he has a clock thing going, so we could definitely call him Clockwork Guy or something. I don't think that's out of character. I mean, he does look like... Technically, Clockwork Butler would be a fair thing to call him just because he has a clockwork theme and he does look like a butler. I think everybody can figure that out. So... Good night, Pierce.
Well, let's get the obvious out of the way, Brooke says. Do you know a way to kill them? Ooh, okay. So, 2 questions here. I'm going to go with the easy one first. They're going to use their other hand to vaguely gesture in Ryda's direction around the table. He specifically positioned himself on the southernmost chair, I should mention.
I made a deal with augmentation. The clockwork bastard, or whatever the heck it is, somehow linked Brooke and I through time. So, I made sure that I would still be myself. I asked augmentation to make it so I could be there when Brooke finally came back. And, well, I finally fulfilled my part of the bargain. So, who knows what happens now? They throw their arms up with a big toothy grin. I might be stuck as part of augmentation forever. Or I might fade out of existence when Brooke finally kicks the bucket, if that ever happens. They make a dismissive wave. Right now, I'm just happy to be here. It means that we can finally finish this war. And I get to be with my best friend. Brooke smiles.
Very nice, very nice.
On the more serious note, they lean back, and for a moment you can almost see the flickering of some sort of larger chair backing behind them, something their seat generally lacks. Honestly, I think it depends on which one you're fighting. I know that one of them died, and it had to be because of your friend. You know the one, Tiber. I know that other observers may have died too during the war, but I wasn't always there to see it. I just know that they're incredibly powerful.
This begs the question, as Ralph looks thoughtfully. Did we watch Tiber do it? Like, Tiber puppeting Riley killed him, or Tiber, when Tiber was still flesh and blood, killed one?
Way back when he was still flesh and blood. The only reason I know is because augmentation told me.
Ralph clasps his hands together. Interesting.
Tucker speaks up. Well, we can still talk to Tiber. Maybe we should ask him about this.
They call them anathema, Brooke says. Guess that might be why. There's a little bell dinging noise, like a ship bell. Yep. There's something about Tiber and whatever they did to him to make him whatever the heck he actually is. It must have gone wrong. So, they choose to avoid him, which means they also avoid your little friend. As weapons go, Riley is your strongest one. But you can't rely on him to do all the fighting for you. If anything, it gives them more reason to target and disable him as soon as possible.
I won't say anything, but I'll crack my knuckles and flex, nod.
You won't need much convincing to be pointed at them. We'll just have to figure out the right opportunity.
Tucker perks up and asks Skills, speaking of being disabled and stuff, that clockwork guy, he constantly just freezes everything and gets away with whatever he wants. Is there some way we can get around that freeze?
He sighs, shoulders sagging. As far as I can tell, the clockwork is the first observer. They have been around the longest, They are the most powerful. They aren't joking when they say they have control over time. I've seen them more times than I can count, always in pristine condition. They're the reason why all of you are here. Why I'm here. They've been killing people, snatching them through time. As for stopping them, they fold their hands together again, squeezing hard. I don't know how. They can be overwhelmed, but then they just...
Tucker does a little growl. They definitely seem powerful. I'm not surprised if they're the most. And I'm not surprised if that's why we're here.
To say Scales currently has a dark expression on their face would be an understatement.
Yeah. So, actually, before I go into that next line of thinking, I'm gonna wait for this Brook line. Because it's a big line of thinking.
That's fair.
Ralph does the big thing. I'm also doing a think.
Me too.
Indeed, I've realized something quite substantial that has just been implied.
Oh.
Yes.
How do we mess with someone who has control over time? I've heard of Pokemon and Legends messing with it before, like Dialga or Celebi. Are they real? Could they help? He leans back, slapping his hands on his knees. You think they haven't been trying to catch that guy in all these years? They smirk. There's something about that clockwork menace that they can't touch. From what I can tell, Celebi just travels through time. They don't manipulate it. As for Dialga, well, he doesn't seem to fear Dialga. So there must be some reason why.
Out of character, I will just note, our game technically takes place, if you consider the PMD games as a linear timeline, after the full timeline of the existing games. So if you are thinking about Dialga in the sense of PMD2, that stuff already happened and got resolved.
Who else has a question before Brooke continues?
I don't don't have
I'm-
anything. I'm just thinking.
I'm good. Sounds like Ralph has a big think statement to say though.
You know, it sounds to me like we're not the first group to try and crack this nut. I look over at Scales' ghost. If Tiber killed one of them while he was still alive, then his former teammates, that, if you can hear that,
Yep.
probably know about it. I think Pingo Jingo, King Hothead, and the others been holding out on us a little bit. We were holding out on them. The point is, I feel like they know all about the Dead Star, or at least as much as they can know. And their reaction to us saying we're fighting it would not be one of confusion, but one of, goddammit.
Scales leans back, closing one eye and folding his arms over his chest. I wouldn't be so sure about that. I've reported to Pangoro about these creatures, Rook says. You seem clueless to me. Scales nods, closing the other eye. Leviathan, are you going to talk, or are you going to sit there? He's silent for a moment, frowning. Well, fine, be that way. It looks like whatever aspect died, quote unquote, he does air quotes with one hand, is back. So that thing that happened to teleport into the house, and yes, I could listen to the whole conversation, as he leans his head towards Ryda, must have been that one. Most of the observers are subtle. They don't put themselves out in the open unless they know they can avoid general notice outside of their target. This isn't an open war anymore. And generally speaking, the observers were always... what's a good word for it? They were infiltrators, spy masters. They were literally there to observe and enact their master's will. Their master? Rook asks. The Dead Star. What else? Oh, I thought it was just a satellite. I didn't think it was alive, I guess. Ooh, he rubs at his neck, making a bit of a face. So this is one of those things where you all have to ask the right question?
Your responses are limited. We must ask the right question.
Kind of. I mean, my time's kind of limited, as Brooke and I found out, so, yeah.
Would a straightforward question of what is the Dead Star suffice?
Scratching at one cheek. I don't know, is the most straightforward answer I can give you.
Tucker perks up and asks, Alright, the Dark Star, whatever it is, we know it can give orders. What is its goal?
Order. He sits up. It wants to impose order. It seems to think that our world is run on chaos, on the whimsy of Arceus. And so it's been trying, for many centuries, to impose its own idea of order and logic on our world. Honestly, that's probably why the observers act in the shadows. They're likely manipulating events, people, places, like a massive chessboard 1,000 spaces wide. They want to line everything up, so they can build their forces again.
Tucker thinks about that a second. Well, they might have some definition of order that makes sense to them, but I think it's pretty obvious to us that all they're doing is causing chaos. Whether they think that or not.
I think that's the point. They'll mutter sourly.
Tucker does make one more mention, referring back to something the Brook said. Well, even if Pokemon like Dialga or Celebi can't do anything against the Clockwork guy, at least maybe we could find them, talk to them. It's not the first time we've run into a legendary.
The fact that our enemy is opposing Arceus themselves doesn't exactly fill me with the most confidence. Thinking hard, but they don't care. I have suspicion of what the Dead Star actually is. I mean, like, on a physical note, I'm pretty sure. But as far as how it can give orders, except I'm not sure how to explain it in a Pokemon-y way. And he's like, okay, yeah. He like has like an aha moment. You remember the things that we fought in the Moonlight Rooms, right?
Yeah.
The robots, yes. Well, the way they were able to talk and organize themselves, it's because we can give machines and he does air quotes, brain, and it's called artificial intelligence. A highly advanced satellite might have had such an artificial intelligence, which, if it was intelligent enough, might malfunction There are loads of like movies about it, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I suspect that that's what's giving the orders. A hyper-intelligent AI.
And one that's maybe gone a little bit off its rocker. Tucker asks.
Ralph nods. I don't know how that helps us, but knowing what you're up against, sometimes it does.
Could it be possible to alter this brain of sorts?
Ralph shrugs, maybe. Yeah.
I'm just going to mention off to the side. Well, poor Kyrio is trying to keep up with typing. So Lorantis, Squirt, and Lyre are off to the side, and I'm imagining it like the three of them are off to the side with no thoughts, head empty expressions, because all of this is going over their heads. the poor souls. Or at least Lorantis and Squirt. Lyre is there. They are listening. And of course, Puppy is no thoughts, only bite. Brooke comes. I think this is as far as we'll get for now. Until we have a more specific question to ask. I suggest whenever we want to make plans against it, we should take it to the library. If any place is warded from their sight, it's there. Oh. Huh. I wonder what Mewtwo will think if I show up there. Oh, that'll be fun. Scales grins. He's a lot more mellow now, at least. Bark chugs. Time does that to some people. Look at me. They gesture to themselves. But I'm not gonna catspot question you all night. With my warlord's permission, I'll speak freely. Permission granted, soldier, Burke says. Scales will stand, resting both hands on the table. The wood creaks under the pressure. This is a war that has been waged for centuries. The legendaries were arrogant, or unable to obliterate the Darkstar. So it's up to us. They let the last remnants of humanity fall to extinction because they couldn't find a way to save it. Not without risking the Darkstar's return. So, what better way than for humanity itself to clean up the mess, right? Their lip curls in mild disgust. Tucker, your line of thought is valid, wanting to get those powerful creatures involved. But you shouldn't rely on legendaries to fix these problems. They stepped in too late to begin with, and they'll be too slow to act.
Tucker nods and expresses, I think I've seen what you mean. There's some dragons that express arrogance, like you say, that we've met.
The saddest part is they were the first ones at the front line. They know about as well as me what it was like. And I only remember in bits and pieces that hell they unleashed. They gave Ryda a side-eye, and then turned their head toward Lyre. And the sacrifice they made for it.
What does that mean?
But putting this old mom's bitterness aside, I know none of you asked to be part of this war. So I'll do everything I can. I'll answer every question I can. Brooke already has my strength.
I may wish to speak with Eternatus later.
Interesting idea.
The dragons were on the front line. Maybe that includes himself. And if it does, perhaps I can get a little bit more info. Or at least gain his ire against them once more.
One second, I'm gonna turn over dinner.
Okay.
This is rather interesting. Lore developments.
Yes.
Lore! The lore! I love the Matt Pat lore.
I had no clue with the reference. I was just like, wow, that's some more excitement. Epic says they kind of hope and binging all this. You say that, but some people, we still get YouTube comments from the early episodes like, wow, this is cool. I want to watch this whole thing. Some people are like challenge accepted even to this day, which is really cool.
I mean, you got tons of content to watch, many hours. So, if you ever need a show to watch, you got one.
Yeah, something to listen to while you, like, I don't know, work on a Unity project.
After the first, like, 25 parts, it's fully podcast, like, audiobooky. As in, you don't need to look at the board to see anything. And truly important. So, I imagine people could, like, probably like listen to on headphones while driving or something like
Oh
that.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it while driving, but
Or
you know,
like, walking or on a bike or something. Or whatever. Just stay safe, of course. I'm not saying don't do that, but...
yeah. Hey, we got a lot of content for people to get through. If the gods are fine to let the board be stacked against them, then we don't need their help. Besides, the Dead Star killed me and made my best friend experience centuries of torment, Brooke growls. I have no intention of leaving it to anyone else. Scales nods in solidarity. There is one legendary that you will need to contact. He holds up a finger. The Dead Star is outside the atmosphere, orbiting the planet. I don't know if it's locked in place or anything. I have no idea what the legendaries did to it. Didn't exactly have a vessel at that period of time. But I can tell you this. If you want to get up there and not be shot down with extreme prejudice, you're going to talk with Rayquaza.
Okay, out of character question. Was he one of the council?
They
No.
were absent
They were not
when you
there.
were there.
Okay.
Oh, good. They're famously even-tempered. Yeah, I know, right? But it was legendaries like Rayquaza that were instrumental in taking down the Dark Star ages ago. To be fair, it wasn't like the anti-orbital cannons humanity built stayed under their control for very long. He rolls his eyes at the sheer stupidity of that task. That just means we'll have to have a plan that they'll have no choice but to agree to first, Brooke says.
Do we actually know that Rayquaza was part of that Drake Council, considering he was absent?
Yes.
Okay, we do.
They specifically made mention of I think it was the two absent lords.
Right. And the absent ones were Rayquaza and...
Oh, sorry, 3 absent lords. There was Rayquaza, there was Eternatus, and there was...
Who was the last one?
Z.
Zekrom?
No.
Zygarde?
Yes, Zygarde,
Oh, what's
thank you.
that? Yeah, Zygarde.
Zygarde specifically being holed up wherever they are, having cut off everything else.
Oh. They don't sound like they're really part of the council at that point, then.
Well, I believe that the implication was given at the time that it is the Dead Star's fault that happened.
Oh, I see.
Unfortunately, Scales is not a dragon, so he does not have the knowledge of the dragons to give you here.
Tucker would speak up and say, well, if you need Rayquaza's help, then we're gonna have to deal with that Dragon Council again. They didn't much like us the first time.
At the very least, I have connection to one of the council.
That could be helpful.
That's right, you are an acolyte and servant of Eternatus. I wonder if more would be willing to help our cause in exchange for, and he lowers his voice, a new errand boy.
Don't. Scales bares his fangs. His claws scratch the table, physically.
My eyes shift from the center of the table to Scales, as I am clearly contemplating it, but waiting to see his reasoning for don't.
Do not give yourself to those things. If you think Pokemon were insane for serving the Dead Star centuries ago, just remember that when you serve a legendary, they expect you to serve. Some of them might not give you a raw deal. When you're bound to them. I've seen some Pokemon make very stupid decisions. Because it's what their god wanted. You don't know what they're going to ask of you in return. So if you care about this life that you have, Ralph, if you care about Mawile, don't.
Ralph nods.
We don't have enough information right now, regardless. We'll keep our eyes open for opportunities to learn more. Until then, we should refrain from taking too many steps ahead of ourselves, Burke says. The dragons are the last thing we need right now. Scales eases up. Their form has begun to flicker. Sorry. Whether my old war prejudices show.
Legendaries or not, we've seen good and bad Pokemon, of all types of power. Mewtwo shows that legendaries can be good people too, though. It's a case-by-case basis, and we should take our time, like Brooke says.
Hey, Ryda, give me an insight survival alert.
Sure. I will say, Ryda has been side-eyeing Scales based off of his comments. They don't agree.
They sure don't.
No. You said inside survival alert?
Yep.
Okay.
That makes sense, there's a conflict. Tucker's in the middle. Tucker does kind of agree with Eternos being not completely trustworthy, but every single dragon, I don't know. Tucker's...
No, Ryda's like... I have respect in... I have respect for the dragons and value their counsel, and to speak of them in such a manner, even if they did request things that were less than ideal, Ryda does not mind paying that price, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. They'd be willing.
Tucker respects Ryda's decision to be that polite, but yeah.
I don't entirely disagree with you, for what it's worth, Burke says, but we shouldn't close off opportunities rashly. Scales nods. Says the rash Pokemon, indeed. So, When everyone else's attention is on Brooke, and Brooke is going to notice this too, Scales is looking directly at Rida, and he's glaring. But the expression lets up immediately as he's addressed, and he turns back to Brooke. Of course. You can't afford to cut off your options.
If the ends justify the means, I'd be willing to pay whatever price it takes.
Tucker has an uncomfortable look at that statement, but does not speak up.
And Ryda is glaring directly back at Scales.
Tucker would express, when it comes to those dragons, I don't like them that much, most of them, but I could tell they were insecure, a lot of them, for all their power. It's like we've been talking about, the Dark Star is more powerful than probably even them. So, while I didn't like their attitudes, if they're insecure, then we're not seeing the full picture of what they can fill. And they're not thinking straight.
Out of character, it's almost like they had to turn to effectively the dragon version of the devil in order to fight the Dark Star. A majority of the dragon legendaries are actually not that strong on the scale of gods.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Out of character question, just real fast. Because I don't want to make too much of an assumption. The dragons targeted us because of our relation to the Dark Star. Because they're insecure. They don't realize how we're different. Or if they do, they still don't trust it because we're related in some way.
The fact alone that you all are vessels is enough for them to cast suspicion upon you. And the only reason that you were not immediately cast into Incarceres Sanguis is because you had Noibat with you and you had Rida with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you proved yourself in effectively honorable combat with the, I believe it was a Haxorus,
Mm-hmm.
and they vouched for you.
Yeah, that whole situation stood out to Tucker because it's like, well, technically we're not as strong as you, but you're just seeing this link that we have with a thing that you are scared of. So yeah, you guys are kind of insecure.
Which,
I mean, I did smack one with a hammer.
so, I will get to Brooke's line in a second. I will point out, Scales just said the dragons were on the front line of the war.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first. So it stands to reason, like, to give this info to you as players if it did not occur to you yet. They experienced all the horror that a competent vessel is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And dragon types wouldn't admit to fear. They would just push out their anger towards others and such. Most likely, most of the time.
So they fought other vessels. They fought others like us.
Mm-hmm.
In droves.
That's why.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you know we are dangerous and we can become very dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a way that's a positive thing, kinda.
We're gonna become the most powerful damn vessels that the world has ever fucking seen, and we're gonna rip that star in two.
Kyrio is correct. They know you're basically walking nukes waiting to happen.
And their insecurity is somewhat justified, but it demonstrates that they have insecurity equals you're not thinking straight, meaning that maybe we should try talk to them or work with them a bit more, possibly.
I'm not going to call this insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
It's caution and trauma.
Trauma is probably the best word for it.
They know that they can face vessels. They have fought them. They have slain them. But the cost was great. Otherwise, they would not have ever turned to Eternatus.
Honestly, with trauma in the picture, that would have Tucker's sympathy, if anything.
Anyway, on to the Brookline.
Mhm.
Glad you understand, Brooke says. But then he looks at Rida. Don't be too arrogant yourself. Unless you promise something that I'm not willing to pay.
Rida gives a nod. I love how Rida is just like the perfect vessel for the dragons. Like, we want someone extreme, willing to do whatever it takes. Rida's like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what. Sign me up.
There's good reason why Aeronautus picked 2 people out of the team.
Yeah, Tucker and Rida, because Tucker was going through his trauma arc.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're short on time with Scales for now, Brooke says. Thank you for your input, buddy. It's invaluable. Scales heaves out a sigh, and they shift back to being a crocodile. Yeah, well, sorry I couldn't be more useful.
No.
Maybe another
you were.
night. Well, you say that, but I was mostly an angry old man for this entire conversation. They shrug, offering a half smile as their form begins to fade out. Maybe next time I can tell you something useful. See you on another night. And they salute to Brooke. The whole 2-finger salute thing.
Oh no, Scales is dying again! But yeah, I do love the juxtaposition of how everyone besides Rida views the dragons.
Good night, Brooke says, saluting back awkwardly, since she's never been a soldier. And that wasn't even a proper salute from Scales either. In the background, Squirt. Brooke just used the dragons as a potential means to an end. That's probably a good way to think about it. It's how Scales thinks about it. Also, in the background, Squirt just signing to Lorantis and Lyre. Did you understand any of that? Both of them shaking their heads no.
You two taught Tucker a very important lesson, and that is that no matter how strong or legendary or whatever a Pokemon is, they got emotions and they got personality, and basically, Tucker is not the sort to really be an acolyte of anybody, really. Mewtwo's little thing aside, but that's separate. And that's because he would never see any of these legendaries as gods that should be worshipped, because they all demonstrate that they're just as real as lesser Pokemon, I guess you could say. They're just as nuanced and flawed and stuff. So, I mean, having an aspect of connection, it's a little easier to pick up on that, too.
Indeed.
So, he would never deify them, but also, that doesn't mean he would disrespect them. It means that he'd want to work with them.
Yeah.
If possible.
And meanwhile, Ralph going along the line of thinking, they are just like us, which is an obvious revelation that I hadn't come to yet. Then there's no reason we can't be like them. It's sort of him thinking, like, there's no reason we can't become as powerful as they are.
Oh no, Ralph is on his villainous scientist power trip arc.
Fucking self-augmentate, like, fucking go on a villainous arc to become Overlord. Oh, become the Pokemon Emperor. I have the fucking outfit and everything.
Oh no.
Yes. Oh my god, I have the cape.
Well, that was informative, but not immediately actionable. So let's focus in a bit on the day-to-day. Specifically, he gestures to Lurantis. Lori's gonna show us to the mesa now, and we can gather some good soil for the orchard. Lori? Lurantis jumps a bit at being addressed. I nickname people. It's a thing, Brooke says. Oh, okay. I guess you can call me Lori now. They shuffle awkwardly in place. As soon as you're ready to go, I can guide you to the mesa. It shouldn't be too hard. Squirt is doing tiny little claps. Liar smiles. Out of character, Brooke, you can't keep doing this. You're going to keep adding to your eventual pirate crew.
So, a question. Was the Mesa and Astarock related? Or the same place or something? I forgot.
Is the Moonlight Ruins on the way to the Mesa? No. The Moonlight Ruins were way north by the Muted Glade.
Mm-hmm.
The Mesa is closer to Astarock. In fact, let's see.
Yeah, I knew it was like near-ish, but yeah.
Somewhere around that area? It's past Astarock.
I wonder if Brooke will share the other bit of news.
Coastal Kyrio just typing on the whole idea of like the party, or well, Tucker's perspective of not worshipping the legendaries and seeing them more akin to like, you know, another person because of how he came up and stuff. Meanwhile, Rida is on the opposite spectrum, where they came up in an environment of sort of worshipping knightlyhood and, you know, servitude. So they're kind of used to the idea of, yes, I serve a higher being who's better in some sense.
I don't think Tucker would disagree that these legendaries have extreme powers and stuff. Like, that they are better in some ways, but not in all ways, basically. That's the difference.
We might be able to save some time teleporting to the gallantry, assuming Rida will be well enough to do so, Brooke says. Oh, by the way, Chatot is saying Team Gallant hasn't reported in a while, so we should check in on them too.
Tucker perks up to that immediately. Oh, that's right. While I was getting the outfit, I was returning something to the gallantry. And yeah, they're not there. They left a note, though. And Tucker will recite what the note said, because I forgot the exact thing it said.
I don't remember exactly what it said.
Basically, we're going west.
They were going to be away for an
attacks.
extended period of time out on a mission west. Also, yeah, going to the gallantry would save you a chunk of time.
Also, I was vague because I can't remember if I think Tucker only told Brooke that he nicked a banner, so he didn't go into detail here.
Hey, since y'all went to the muted glade, I mean, technically y'all could have gone straight north, but Ryda would have seen the gallantry.
Yep, because I was scrying on Tucker.
Oh, depending on when you scryed, you might have noticed putting up the banner then.
Well, not necessarily the scrying, but just the trip over.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that too.
Because remember, if you haven't been there, it makes it harder.
Yeah.
You returned the banner you stole, huh? Brooke grins.
It was refurbished. It looks really good now, actually.
Yeah, the gallantry was ages ago.
Honestly, I was kind of glad they weren't in, so it was a little less awkward putting it back up that way. But yeah, didn't know them being gone was a problem.
I mean, yes, Ryda was, but again, they had not been there physically. So Ryda has now been in the vicinity of it.
Actually, I remember that there was Tucker did a little bit of poking around. Like, geez, where are they? Are they like somewhere that I'm not looking? So I remember asking last session when that was being done. Did they leave anything besides the note, or like did they leave most of their stuff there, or the knights, that is, or did they take everything with them?
Sorry, I had a moment. What take everything with them?
I know that Tucker snooped a little bit when at the Gallantries, and there was one specific thing I asked, and I would be relaying this to the group, but I don't remember what it was. Did the knights take all their stuff with them, or did they leave stuff?
There was stuff left there. They
Okay.
couldn't have taken everything with them, but it's their stuff was left relatively untouched. Because for the most part, what's in the gallantry outside of what was behind the few locked doors isn't really of much value.
The reason for the question is basically, you know how you can tell the difference between this person is on vacation and this person moved out? That's kind of the question I'm asking.
No, they did not move.
Okay.
Like,
So they
the
definitely
implication
intend
of
to
the
come
note is that they are going on a mission and they're going to have to return.
Alright, that will be relayed then.
Well, if we don't find them, we might have a lot more easily insulted squires hanging around town, Brooke says.
Oh boy.
Good thing Zeal isn't here. They'd be so happy to have more knights to fight.
I don't remember if Ryda's interacted with Zeal, other than like Cave of Mirrors, maybe.
Not really. Zeal has been mostly out on missions and their own self-imposed tasks.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of how Ryda would react with Zeal, because he is a prince. So,
Boy, it's a good thing Ryda didn't interact with Zeal pre, what is it? Pre-Mount Shiver. Alright, so it sounds like we should head towards Aster Rock from the gallantry.
I recall they had some friction with the knights hanging around there, Brooke says. We might find a clue.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Well, it's on the way, isn't it? Actually, it wouldn't be the craziest to go to the gallantry camp and then go to Astaroth.
It's an official mission from Chatot, so we can't just ignore it, Brooke says. Plus, I'm a little worried about Calvin.
Yeah, there's no telling how long that note's been up. Sounds like it's been for a while, though.
Out of character, what was the beef with them being around Astaroth? I don't remember.
There was, the rival knight that was a Bisharp.
Things involving Benkei. Okay.
Benkei,
I thought it was
that's
something else. Okay, I understand.
I don't think we ever knew where Benkei exactly was hanging out, but we knew he had his own little gang, so he was hanging out somewhere. If you don't remember, don't worry, guys. He didn't get a lot of screen time.
Yeah, I'm
Indeed.
like, I did not remember that name at all.
I was predicting somebody might say that.
Given how little screen time they had, it's probably that they are based around or near Aster Rock.
I mean, I still forgot what the beef was in the first place. I think an argument of chivalry or something, of the code or something.
Benkei specifically does not get along with Cheval and their team because Cheval is the bombastic kind of knight who charges first and thinks never.
That's accurate. And we love him for it.
Which is probably why he's missing that. You are correct, sir. So,
Seems we have a plan.
Lobster, are you referring to the Sizor lieutenant that Benkei has?
Oh, well, I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, they were a black Sizor.
I don't remember him at all. Gallantry's blurred to me. The only thing I remember was Calvin being misgendered.
Frequently.
Aw, yeah, I remember that.
Ryda, how do you feel about teleporting to the gallantry? Brooke says. Think you can manage it in a couple days?
I believe I shall be able to, yes.
Lori speaks up, just raising one of their mantis arms. I know teleporting takes a lot of energy. So, we should probably only take those of us that need to go.
It's just occurred to me the puppy's probably going to have to be left in the care of the clubhouse for at least a little bit longer or something. before that can be arranged for somewhere else, like the branch.
Well, it'll be at least me, Tucker, Ralph, and Ryda. You're the guide, plus Deadeye. Speaking of Deadeye, players may... Oh, at least, I assume he'd be cranky if I left him alone here. First off, that's adorable. Second, speaking of Deadeye, all the players can make Insight Survival Alert rolls.
Okay.
I misread that as Brooke has his back to the stairs. He falls. Oh no, don't fall down the stairs, I thought to myself. Oh wow.
Has his back to the stairs, he fails. Well, this was also like a listening check, so...
I listened good.
6.
7.
Ralph is too busy having serious big brain thoughts.
Yeah, running through like 100 simulations of fights in my head, trying to figure out one where we win.
Probability giving you big brain mind simulation palace stuff.
I'm fucking doing the Doctor Strange thing, except I'm sitting still.
Good star, I've come to bargain.
Yes, Brooke, your ears work. But everybody else hears as the door downstairs opens and shuts. And Deadeye is going to just sort of walk up and stand beside Brooke, head tilt. Have I missed something?
Tuck will give a friendly little nod towards Deadeye.
Nothing too important. You want to come with us to find a group of missing knights? Maybe check out a jungle on Mesa? Oh, you're talking about the forest on top of that place? I remember seeing it from a distance a while ago. Sure, why not? Like I told you, I have business out west.
Seems everybody does, Tucker says under his breath.
Yep, so it's official. You're a provisional member of Team Cheer now. Brooke smirks. Deadeye rolls their one good eye. Huh. As if you could lay claim to me just like that.
Random thought. Is Squirtle's drawing still on the table face up?
Yes.
Okay.
Squirtle is slowly nudging it toward Brooke and Deadeye. I can claim whatever I want. Whether you argue is up to you, Brooke says with a smirk. I will remind you that I am able to fight you to a standstill. The scent of ozone starts to appear.
Tucker's probably gets slightly poofed.
tie is not beating me. And a sparring match is not life or death combat either. What's your point? I will let you know, if this continues, they will continue to be standoffish about it.
I love that response. And they were roommates.
Brooke stands and puts a hand on his shoulder. My point is, we're gonna have a fun road trip, Brooke says, patting him. Be ready to go in 2 days. Meeting adjourned. And that's where we're gonna end it.
Okay.
Okay.
I still want to do a cooking attempt, like roll something. Not, I mean, at the start of next, I can do it.
Yes. We make note to start next time. You will have your cooking attempt, and then there will be 2 days in town for you all to figure out everything that you
To
want.
figure out what the heck Puppy's gonna be, where Puppy's gonna be while we're doing the Mesa trip, because we have to do that before the ranch. Or Tucker is not gonna be like, hey, Ryder, while you're recuperating to teleport to the galaxy, can you also teleport us to Madbray's ranch? That would be an unreasonable request, so. Though, I wonder if 2 days is enough to travel that. Nah, probably not.
It's, I believe it's a day and a half to get to Mudbray's Ranch.
Yeah, it's a little too long. So, Puppy's care needs to be figured out still. We'll figure it out next session, though. At least in the short term.
Yep. Also, don't ask Deadeye for suggestions. All he'll suggest is that you dig a hole and stick Puppy in it.
Puppy is not a crop. You can't grow him that way.
Plant Puppy, it will grow. This is how children work, right?
That was a good session, though. Good lore session.
Everybody get 2 XP.
Okay.
I'm at 10.
I'm at 28. Ralph, did you do experience on yourself? Or Tubby?
I have not.
Oh, you get 2. You sound like you're talking behind the pillow. He's tired, he went to bed already.
I dropped my thing. Alright, where's my mic? There it is.
Thank you.
I'm gonna guess you have a standing mic that isn't standing properly.
Well, standing mic, it doesn't have a stand. It just is there's the little knob where it used to connect to the stand. But yeah.
Oh yeah, so it sounds like you need a new stand. Or a lot of duct tape.
All right.
And thank you all. I'm glad you all liked the session. I will make note, from the 16th to the 23rd, I am going to be on vacation, which means I will not be running a game.
Mhm.
So we will pick up at the next normal time, which I believe will probably be July.
July 2nd,
Alright.
from the looks of it. Though, I do have to say, I don't know, I want to point out, we've been house hunting for basically 2.5 months now, and, from what I understand, Essler is potentially has a lead now that we've expanded the search base. We're looking at a college town. It has a lot of options, actually, so that might be bearing fruit soon if we're lucky, which means that I will definitely have a highest period 2, probably. I don't know. It might match up with yours if we're lucky, if everything moves faster, but I don't know. I'm purely just having to wait for Esther's word, because Esther is the one in the actual physical area, so he's the one mostly responsible for how this goes. So again, I've been saying for a while that Pokerole will be delayed at some point for me. I hope it doesn't add up to me being unavailable for July 2nd when we would do the next session, but that might happen, so I'm sorry if it does. We'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, I can't say anything now, but yeah, so we will aim for July 2nd for the next session. If we can't, because I'm moving, that's okay, we'll just pick up after that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed session 148, and yeah, also the Discord and stuff that I mentioned you should join. I'll keep you guys updated on that stuff, of course, the moving stuff over there, and I'll probably do a big community post when the move happens and stuff too for YouTube as well. But yeah, I hope everyone had a good time today. This was a nice session. Thank you everyone for joining me, players, DM, and audience alike. But yes, I will hopefully see you all again sooner rather than later for a session 149 later on.
Good night.
Good night.